Welcome back to the most talked about talk show. Talk show history.
Welcome back to the
podcast. I might be somebody named David.
I might be somebody named Greg.
And we got two special guests. We're gonna let them introduce themselves.
Oka here, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Jeffy Pierre, yes, sir.
All right.
Jefferson.
All right, okay. Introduce yourself a little bit. What do you feel like people should know about you?
Like what you do.
Very fun guy. I love cars, love working on cars, love racing.
Hey.
I'm a very strong believer in Christ. I don't really play about my faith, nor do I play about the ones that I care about and love. So that's just what I'm all about.
I love to hear that. Before we even move on to Jeffy, so he has a car named Nova.
Nova?
And that was his dream car for a long time.
That's a dope name.
But no longer anymore.
Yeah.
What's the next whip, bro?
The next whip is a Cadillac CTSV, black one.
Oh.
My fault, big dog.
My fault, big dog.
Gotta get that. I gotta have that, bro.
Wait, so do you do like mechanic work, like kind of?
Yeah, like I do everything on my car, so like I don't, unless like it's a serious issue to where I don't know what I'm doing. I pretty much do everything on my car. Yeah. And then same thing for my girlfriend's car, like oil changes, all
personal
that.
mechanic at the
That's
back.
tough. Nah, that's tough.
It's
corner,
snap.
bro.
No, you snap it. That's
Johnny on the
that's
spot.
what's up.
Johnny on the spot.
Yeah.
All right, what should we know about you, Jeffy?
Similar things to with Oka. Obviously, strong believer in Christ. Care about my peoples. My car's name is Manushka.
That's tough.
Yep. Smart. It's my baby. It's my baby. But I love playing basketball, football. I'm a drummer. And yeah.
I like that.
That's an active guy. We got some
Music
active
heads.
guys there. Hell yeah. I'm really glad that you guys included strong believer in Christ, because today that's the route and the path of this episode. So just kind of want to start off like, you grew up in the church. Most of us grew up in the church.
Right.
You know what I mean? So especially in the same church. So y'all don't know, but these my boys from Jump. You feel me? But facts. But also just want to talk about just some things that people don't usually talk about. So I feel like people can look at Christians who grew up in the church a different way just because we lived this our whole lives. But like, what's some battles that you guys had to face?
I feel like people don't understand that, like there's a lot of church hate, but the church hate is within the church.
Right.
Like it's a lot of, especially in a lot of Caribbean churches, like Haitian, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican churches, like they throw a lot of judgment. They cast a lot of judgment on everyone, not even just the children, but on everyone. So then when non-believers enter the church and they see what's going on, they're like, how does that make you guys any different from us? And so people don't understand that, but like they got to understand that we're not perfect.
Right.
We all have our mistakes, our flaws. Like a lot of Caribbeans, they don't perceive things the way that the new generation does.
Right.
They don't understand change, but we do. We got to be the difference. Right. So I feel like that's not communicated enough.
Yeah. I like that.
And you said like, what was the struggles?
Yeah, like what are some battles that you like struggles that you faced?
Like, being that kid that has to listen to the elders, like especially about your hair whenever you walk into church.
Oh yeah.
You get the looks, man, and then or you'll talk to your parents about it, and they talk to you. Bro, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say no names, but we all know what I'm talking about. But I feel like my biggest struggle was like seeing the church as a church, because it didn't feel like a church. It felt like a program, and it just felt like a whole bunch of people that just like they did the same thing every Sunday, and like outside of church are like completely different people.
Right.
So it was just like just going through the motions, kind of.
Literally,
Just because it's Sunday, like
it was literally typical Sunday, bro.
No, and I felt, and then also like cause y'all being like raised in it, right? Like, do you think it's harder for people like to get into their faith like in as later as in their adult years, as opposed to being born and raised like into it?
You know what? I feel like being born and raised into it would make it a little bit easier, because you would think, because you always been surrounded by it. But I feel like at that time it's not true faith. So I'd say like in terms of like being true faith, I'd say it's easier when you're older. Because when you're younger, it just feels like a lifestyle. Like you're not truly exactly. You're not truly into Christ for real. Exactly. You just wake up, go to church, and then it's just normal. So you continue doing it, but there's no true relationship.
Yeah.
But when you're older, you actually understand what you're doing and things like that. So that's
something about that too. Like sure, it could be easy to get into the faith, but you know what else is easy? To get out of the faith, especially 100%. When you're raised in the church. Yeah. And something that it's like that I kind of just wanted to add to yours. So you posted something recently on your story about going to church.
Oh yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about that real quick before?
Yeah. So a little while ago, because I used to be the people that that type of person that said that, and what I posted was everybody saying I don't need to go to church to go to heaven. It was like, and it's not a good way to think, because that right there just teaches people that like, hey, look, I don't need a community. I don't need other people of Christ. I just need me, God, and my Bible. And that when you look at, like, if you read the word, there's nothing about that in the word. There's nothing. Everything that Christ did was always with community. Everything that Christ did was always with people that was likewise. Or when if it's not people that's like him, he gets around others that's not like him and bring them like, to be like Christ. And the reason I posted that was because like recently I was listening to Philip Anthony Mitchell, 2819 church, and that's something that he preached about. He said that, like, that's a demonic doctrine, because like I explained earlier, like people nowadays, bro, they think that like, it's just me, God, and my Bible. Like I don't need nobody else.
And I agree with you. And I also say, like, people just think that on a regular basis too. Like just me, myself, and I. And I'm not even gonna lie, like I used to be like one of those people until I realized like how important like people like really are to everybody's life, and how important like you really need it, like people.
Yes, bro. Like you need a community, bro. Like if you don't got a village, bro, especially in faith, fam, like when I came here, bro, like my faith like dropped like a lot when I first came here, because I obviously knew that Oka was here, Benshi was here at the time. I didn't know nobody else here. You feel me? So I'm like, I spent like a month without going to church. It was just me. I tried to do the online thing, but let's be for real. We turn our TVs on and go right back to sleep. Like we not locked in. We are not locked
online
in,
church
bro.
Was really I forgot about that, bro.
People
not locked in, bro.
And also, why like I kind of like, you want to say something?
Yeah, one thing I want to add on to that. So like, if you think about it with Jeffy's perspective, like with this podcast, you have people helping you set up the equipment. You have people helping you make sure that everything's running, the lights, the audio. Everybody's helping out to make your job easier. It's the same thing with faith. You have everybody. You have a community of Christians around you to make your walk easier. You have accountability partners. If they see you going the wrong way, my brother, I don't think you should do that. So it's like, why go through faith alone when God put everyone around us to help us? Like, Jesus didn't walk alone. He had disciples, bro. So it's like, why are we trying to be different?
So these are all beautiful points. Like, you're not put on this world by yourself. Like if you were meant to do it by yourself, trust God will put you on that path.
You would have been on your own.
But God didn't put you on that path. And why I wanted to bring up your story, because we're also talking about how we're grown up in the church as well. Right. And that's why I feel like it's so easy to have that type of mindset, because I was there too. Trust. I was there to the point, like, I think it was around after COVID, that's when like we had freedom. So, you can't lie. We had freedom.
I'm not going to church.
I'm not going to church. I'm
not going to Methodist no more, bro. You're not forcing me, bro.
You had a choice. I have a choice.
You're not forcing me. You can go, bro. I'm not going.
You can go. I'm not going. No, it was a great. That like I felt like I got my freedom. Like I stripped something.
Like you took that,
bro. Chilling, bro.
But why that was so like important for me though is because when I even like a point, I was going through like a not just a self identity crisis, but like also like finding identity in Christ as well. Yeah. So like I just had like a conversation with my friend. His name is Steve. His name is Steve. And just like I was basically just telling him like, bro, I don't want to be a Christian no more. And he looked at me crazy. I'm like, and like this is like my thought process was like just stupid. Like I was just like facing a lot of church hurt. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to be a Christian anymore. Facts. Like, but the reason why I didn't want to be a Christian anymore because of how Christians were. Like, people in the church, this evangelist outside telling random people that you're gonna die if you don't do this. Like you're going to hell. I didn't believe that was the right way, and I still don't. If I still don't believe that's the right way to evangelize. So, but it was just so easy to fall into those thoughts. Like, and then I started to realize I just want to focus on me and Jesus. It's just gonna be me and Jesus, like like me, my Bible, and Jesus. You know what I mean? That's how I wanted to be. But until you grow up and realize that, like having a village of Christians fellowship is such a big, big part of it,
bro.
Yeah.
Like,
and then a lot of that like all me thing, it also pushes like people who aren't into faith like even further away from faith. And this also like brings me to my next question, because like it always like boggles my mind that people could be like on a teeter totter of which like they believe in Christ but they don't really like believe in religion, right? So I just want to see like y'all viewpoints, like do you believe that somebody can say I have a firm belief of God but I do not believe in Christianity because they assume Christianity is more of a lifestyle than it is.
To me, like I believe that, so like it's a concept, and so like when you look into how the like our generation portrays it, a religion is more like what we were talking about, like it's more of a routine. It's more of a routine. And now when people are saying Christian, like they believe in Christianity, that's because they believe in God, you know, they're following God the way that they think they're supposed to. And so a lot of times they combine those two, but like faith, Christianity, and religion are two different things. Like in the Bible, you would never see like religion talked about like it's Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism. Like you don't see that in the Bible. And so like I like to keep those two things separate, because again, religion is really just a routine.
It's man-made.
Yeah. So like when you go to Methodist, that's a religion. Like you can see you for real see what a religion is.
Right.
But like when we go to these newer generation churches, we see what Christianity is. It's literally a group of Christians worshiping God, following, helping each other, lead each other to Christ. So that's what I think about it.
Yeah. And you said that like, you know, the difference between like saying that you follow Christ.
Like saying that like I believe in God, but I don't believe in Christianity. Like I don't believe in like the lifestyle of being a Christian, but I have a firm belief of God Himself. And
so like, you know, those people that say I believe in God, but not like, you know, the Christ way, like the Christian way.
But I'm not.
Okay, well, okay, we obviously know there's a lot of people like that. They're like, I believe in a God, but like, you know, not like, you know, Jesus Christ out on the cross type of God. But okay, what I have to say about that is, I'm sorry, but if it's not Jesus Christ, then it's not God. It's not like a positive God, because if we're being real honest here, there's only one way to, you know, heaven, and that's through Jesus, right? We all know that. Right. And then when you look at everything else apart from that, any other doctrine, such as, you know, what you just said with people saying, you know, I believe in God, you know, the heaven, the hell, things like that, but not, you know, the Jesus Christ. And with that way, then there's no heaven for you. There's no like everything else. That's just, I don't want to use the word satanic, but
it's just false belief.
You can. It's a free space.
It's just demonic. I think of it as demonic only because, man, if it's not through Jesus, it's through the enemy, because it's one way or the other. You got two right there. If it's not through Jesus, which is God, then it's not. It's through the enemy.
So would you say you could find Jesus in Christianity then, or can you find like Jesus in any other way? Like can you find Jesus like within Christianity?
Oh, I mean,
or do you think that like you could find Jesus without saying, oh, like this is not like Christian, like I know Jesus from, you know.
Oh, okay.
You can encounter Jesus in all types of ways. It doesn't matter who you're, bro. It could be a person who doesn't believe that in God at all.
That can be through the worst ways.
That can lead you to Christ. So it's like it don't matter in what circumstances. That's why it's like Jesus is for everyone, because He can get to you through everyone in
any way, in anything, bro. Like that's the beauty of it. Like God, we all know that Christ is, you know, omnipresent. So He's everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in the midst of like, you know, a Muslim mob, if you're in the midst of like, you know, a Jewish church or Catholic, this doesn't matter where you're at. God can get to you if He really wants to get to you. And if it's like, even through like you said, you could be surrounded by, you know, religion and not, you know, like, you know, the Christ way. But even through that, I feel like you could still get some type of encounter. Because let's say like, you know, you go to like, you know, the regular church, right? Yeah. Like the regular doctrine type of thing. And then for some reason, like, you know, even though it's just routine, because this happened to me, that Mythologies too, they were doing like a week for the, you know how like they used to have the week long for like the youth. They used to have like a youth conference type of week, and then they have like this pastor that comes every night and talk. Yeah. And then there was a night that, you know, every night it just sounded like gibberish to me that he was talking, but there's like one time that he said something, I don't remember specifically, but he said something and it felt like he was talking straight to me. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of this guy, like, you know, because it just sounds like he's just here to just yap.
Yeah.
But for some reason, what he said hit me. And then so I'm like, you know what? Like, it hit me that hard to the point where I'm like, let me just open up my book and follow what he's talking about. And then for some reason, what he was talking about, it added on to my life. So I'm like, so that's why I feel like even in the midst of like, you know, the non-Christ way things, like it could still happen.
For sure.
So,
and also you got to be willing to put that first foot forward too.
yes, that's true. You got to move
like,
your feet,
Cri-
man.
Yeah.
God is not gonna come to you. That's what people like have it messed up.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh, I'm gonna just live my life and Christ will find me.
Oh, yeah,
But you have to
nah.
make an effort.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's a relationship too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
that kind of,
you gotta-
that kind of also.
He already did his 50 if you think about it.
Yeah,
If anything, he's done 75.
Yeah.
He's done 75. You think about it. No, because and it's just so crazy because I'm really like sometimes like this where you just forget everything because you just get like so caught up in all your life worries, all these bills and stuff. Like you can't even look outside and look at the trees. We have trees. You feel me? Like it's just like the simplest
things.
that,
Bro.
yeah, like the simplest things that like that.
Walk.
Yeah,
Fam,
able to
You know
walk.
how many people are on wheelchairs, bro?
Yeah.
Like, fam, especially,
Bro.
big thing right here at our job, bro.
Oh,
The
yeah.
things that you see at a hospital, bro, and you're
God
like,
every day,
you,
bro.
Oh,
you
yeah,
really
y'all the
thank God
transporters,
every
right?
day, bro.
Yeah,
Yes, fam.
Oh.
Like sometimes I
People
sit
are
there.
hurting.
Yeah, sometimes like this one time I took I think she was like 15, a 15-year-old girl to her appointment. She was wheelchair bound, and she's been in the hospital for 3 months straight. Like she really lives there. Like her stuff is there. You know, she's watching TV and everything. And then as I'm walking out, like, you know, obviously she's positive and things like that. But I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, you're like 14, 15. I'm 19. And for you to be like, you know, in this state right now that you are, in like every time, basically like what I'm trying to say, when I look at it is like I really, really look back on God and say, wow, I'm blessed. I'm not saying I'm better than her, but I'm saying like, wow, I'm blessed for sure, bro.
Yeah.
So
Because like and on top of that, and then we always bring it back to Naples for some reason. Every time I time, but for real, it's real life because it's like because you don't really like notice like how blessed you are.
Facts.
And then like and then because like and it was because you're not like used to seeing homeless people but outside you know you see homeless people here and there like people actually like real life like struggling and shit and then even people like at our job that we talk to, just everybody has just so many different
type of
just
and like it kind of like reminds me of like you just never really think about it until you experience it. Like
Yeah.
you ever like be sick and be like, damn, I took all those times I was.
I know about that. This is like,
Yeah,
I remember when I wasn't sick.
Yeah.
No. You know when your nose begins stuff, like damn, I took breathing for
granted.
Shit, dog.
That's real. That's real. That's
You know
real.
what I mean? And like I feel like it's just so easy to forget about the things that we're blessed for.
Yeah.
So I try to remember. That's the first thing I say in my prayer. I thank you for everything. You know what I mean? Just for the before I think of talking about the things that I can do, thank you for giving me another day of breath.
Yes.
Like even waking up. There's people who don't wake up every day. You know what I mean?
People die
Every
every
day.
day. You
Every
think
second.
about if you think about it, like literally, you wake up, someone died. Someone did not open their
Someone
eyes.
died right now.
Someone,
Yeah, exactly.
Someone dying right
Somewhere
now.
in the world, someone just
Somewhere.
died
That's
right
so,
now,
but
bro.
It's just
Thank
it's
God
crazy
it
to
ain't
think
us,
about
you
for
feel
real,
me?
bro.
So
Yeah.
like, that's why you gotta really appreciate what you have. Like
Exactly.
your life can be taken away like this.
Yep, like a vapor in the wind, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we can't live our lives like boasting about the next day. And like a lot of people like misunderstand what boasting really means. It doesn't mean like, I'm saying like, oh, tomorrow's mine, I'm gonna go conquer it. Like, no, like you wake up, you
Stop
don't
thinking
think
you
God,
have a tomorrow.
literally.
Yeah.
Stop thinking
That
you
right
have a
there.
tomorrow.
You thinking in your head like, oh yeah, I have this plan, I have that plan. Like, says who? Like, you're not God. You don't know if you're gonna make it the next day. The word literally says, I can't quote the exact verse, but if you're watching and listening, you can go look at it. But it says, do not worry about tomorrow. Because tomorrow's, first of all, tomorrow's not guaranteed.
guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. It's
Tomorrow's not
promised.
guaranteed.
So
Tomorrow's
yeah.
not even here.
Literally, like we're here right now. Yeah. Tomorrow's not even here yet.
And so say this. So people like who suffer like from all this stress, like wouldn't you say like it's harder to like to try to follow Christ like when you're just having like a big what's the word? When you're having like a big turmoil in your life, like everything is just bad, you just feel depressed, everything's down, and then like because some people will go to Christ, and but other people would just be like, oh, there's no hope, and they just feel like it's a them like situation, and they can't relieve all that stress to him because they feel like it's just like the world's like against them.
Yeah.
I think so. Cause like even though I believe in God, I'm very strong in my faith, dude. When things are just getting thrown at me left and right. Like, it's not that I forget about God, but I forget about what he can do. And I start thinking like, okay, I got to lock in. I got to do this.
Yeah,
I got to do this.
I.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I. Like, and I completely forget about him. But that's because, like, I'm human at the end of the day. Once things start going wrong, I try to take things into my own control.
So
it's like
exactly, and especially like as a man too, you know, like
and
on top of that, you got a diamond stuff, and then you got to you know like being a. It's just and the only reason I was asking that because like I recently was going through this, and I just wanted like to hear y'all thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. And also something else that I kind of wanted like to. So I was at church. What's today? Monday. Yeah, yesterday. All right, I was at church. I was at church yesterday, and I just like received the message basically like you ever go to church and like you're whenever you're in a situation you just can't really explain it, but then you go to church and for some reason they explain it perfectly for you.
Understand it now.
You know, like it's like they put in the exact words that I was looking for, or I just like in the situation so I can be aware of that.
Right.
So I feel like there's so many things I pray for, and then like we kind of talked about this in the last podcast. I think there's so many things that you pray for, but then it's like it makes it even harder. You know, God's gonna give you that challenge. You know what I mean? God's gonna give you that challenge and make sure that do you really want that? Okay, here. You know what I mean?
You pray for it, you don't get it.
Facts. So something I kind of want to ask. So after you were truly saved, what was your first trial? Or like what was one of the worst trials?
Where it tested you. Like, you were just like, woof.
Yeah. Like
you
know, like after you're truly saved, you're like you're on fire.
All right,
like,
so
what watered that down?
My boy. So obviously, like I got saved when I was in high school.
Right.
But I felt like, you know, my faith was peaking. Like I felt like, bro, like I was on top of the world with God. Like, you know, it was me, him, the church, the community. Man, I felt like everything was going great. And I was like, you know what? I want to get baptized. I want this. I want that. Now, mind you, I'm having the perfect Christian lifestyle, right? And then I right after I get baptized, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm there. I got the Holy Spirit now. And then I kid you not, like 4 days later, bro, it just feels like God completely left me. Like it felt like I was by myself, but realistically he didn't, right? So I feel like I was completely by myself. I feel like my faith was being tested at its peak because that's when like real trials, real tribulations, that's when the enemy realized like this guy's, you know, for God, I got to do what I got to do to, you know, make that 180. And then I promise you things that I overcame and conquered, like, you know, such as cursing, such as, you know, getting angry real fast, having like, you know, being short tempered, things like that. All those like came back like I didn't conquer them like a year or two ago. Like they came back real fast. And I'm like, yo, like this is spiritual warfare, like at its finest. I thought like, you know, cause my mom, man, in a Haitian household, like a lot of times they try to tell you like, you know, when you come to God, everything's perfect. Like, you know, that's when your finances are going to be in check. We hear that in church a lot. They're going to be like, you know, if you give the offering to this, help build the church, God is going to help build your finances, things like that. You start hearing things like that. So, you know, I grew up thinking that, you know, once you become a Christian, everything's great. You feel me? And then I realized that no, it's not easy. You're going to get persecuted. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose credibility on a lot of people because some people want to come to you about something, but they're like, he's going to bring God into it. I don't want to ask him. So I faced a lot of that. So I don't know if that like, you know, touched up or answered real quick, but fam, that's like definitely after like giving your life to God, bro, and really taking him serious, because a lot of people, they do give their life to God, but they don't take him serious yet. So they're like, my life is still the same. Well, duh, you're not striving for a relationship. The moment you do, my boy, that's when it's like, whoa, that's when glory. You wake up and go to war, bro, like every day. But
yeah, I would say for me, like, so I got saved around COVID time. Like that's when, like when we were talking about the community part, it was very important because Steve and Ben were the only reasons why I got saved, because they were on their own journey with God. Like they were saved before me, and then they helped me out. And so during COVID, like I was battling like depression, bro. Like I was like, man, because it was a lot of solitude. Like I was by myself every day. My parents were at work, and I'm like by myself every day. My little sister, my little brother, they're in the rooms. They don't know what's going on. So like most of the time I'm in the living room by myself listening to music. And like once I got saved, that went away. But a month or two, man, dude, I felt like my soul was on fire. I'm lit. Like I'm happy. I'm posting on my story every day, sermons. Like I'm like I'm doing all that.
Yeah. Bible studies.
Damn, like all Bibles, everything. Then boom. Man, I just became so mad, fam. And I took it out on my girlfriend, my brother, my parents. Like, I was just mad at the world for no reason. Like, the quickest thing, boom, and I'm yelling at everybody. And so, like, that was the toughest battle for me because, like, the guy that I was in high school, very quick to get upset. It came right back within a second. And, like, I feel like the reason why I came back is because I low-key became boastful in my relationship with God.
Ooh, that's good. That was me.
Yeah.
I relate to that. Yeah.
Like I didn't appreciate my relationship.
Yeah.
And so, like,
it's kind of like now I got a popular friend. Like, because you're not really appreciating that person. Now it's just like a look.
I wasn't.
And then something about y'all stories, it's like it gives off a theme of taking one step forward but two steps back.
Yeah,
because it's always y'all same trauma.
Yes.
Because you see like your faith is never tested with something like that you've never handled before. It's always the thing that you've dealt with, the person who you once were, and God's like, okay, let's see if you really are this person.
Yeah.
Again.
And a lot of times too, like the enemy would spin back on something and be like, because you could gain victory over it, right? But exactly like you just said, like it's not something that you haven't gone like through already. Because a lot of people's struggles, like Oka said, the thing that came back was something that happened when he was in high school. So and it came right back to him to be like, okay, let's see if you really overcame that. And then boom, now he started getting tested.
Right.
But yeah, bro.
Damn. Something I like about both of y'all stories is that like something that I kind of like realized about getting saved is that it kind of always reminds me that level one is always supposed to be the easiest. You know what I mean? Like until you keep moving. You know, like when you keep moving, of course, there's supposed to be more challenges. That's why level 39 is hard as hell. That's why you can't you know what I mean?
The higher the level, the harder it is, bro.
Facts. And oh shit, let's go, Robin. But so like for me, I feel like after I got saved, as a man, like I feel like it's like hard. And like hard to like, you know, express this, especially in front of two cameras and a mic in my face. But, you know, I feel like as a lot of men and a lot of Christian men struggle with lust. You know what I mean? And
big time.
Yeah. And after I got saved, I feel like I was fine. You know what I mean? I feel like I was good. I thought, you know, until that comes back. You know, it kind of feels like it's a pattern. It's something like that. And long story short, that's just really what it was. You know what I mean? It was just really hard, and that is what like kept bringing me back. It felt like it was two things. Like God was trying to bring me forward, but I had to put that extra step, and I wasn't putting that extra step. You know what I mean? That's how it kind of felt like. And that I would also add that with friends, like how kind of you were. So something that after I got saved, something that I kind of had to realize is that, okay, if this is something that I want to follow, I can't be surrounding myself with certain people. Yeah. And it's hard because some of those certain people could really be your day ones. Bro. You know what I mean? So, and they can really be your day ones. Bro. And it's like, sometimes like you're kind of like thinking about, oh yeah, that's my day one. Like I'm supposed to be with this. We're supposed to be friends like forever. You know what I mean? But then when you look deeper into your heart and deeper into your soul, it's like, but are these the people who are going to bring you forward? Yeah. Are these the people who are going to help you keep you in your faith?
Yeah, I really agree with that one.
You know what I mean? And that's something that I didn't know if I could like give up yet. Cause it's like, then I started thinking about, then thoughts came like, oh damn, I wonder what he's gonna think about me. Oh, how should I handle this? How should I break it off? Man, if I break it off, he's definitely gonna look at me some type of way. He's probably gonna do this, all these thoughts about how I'm gonna look. Exactly. And I feel like as Christians, that's always hard. Yeah. Like, we care too much about our perceptions, but we don't care about how God looks at us. Yes. You know? That's a word, my boy. That's a word, bro. And that's like the worst part about it. You know, it's the narcissism in us. Yeah. You know, no matter if you swear you care about somebody else more than not, we're all narcissists at some point, especially in a spiritual based.
Yeah. So we're selfish. We're selfish. That's what it is. And one thing I wanted to say about the friendship thing. So like when you start to like come to Christ, like a lot of times like it requires you to cut off the people that, you know, aren't bringing you to Christ. But like you cut off to an extent. All right. So with me, like I had a lot of friends in high school, a lot of people I hung out with that didn't follow the lifestyle that I was trying to live. And now I cut them off, but I didn't cut them out of my life. So Ben and Steve, they were with me from the jump. You know, those were the guys I was talking to every day. Right. But the other guys that weren't leading me to Christ, like I just distanced myself. But I would still hit them up, check up on them. I would still pray for them. Like I would still hang out with them. I just didn't allow them to like affect my life because they were living a completely different life, partying, smoking, drinking every day. And so like when they're doing that type of stuff, I'm out of it. Oh, you want to go hoop? All right, bet. Let's go. So like, oh, yo, you want to come to church? Nah, I'm straight. All right, bet. I'll see you next week. So like I didn't cut them off completely, but I kept them at arm's length because if you just cut off a friend completely over your faith, then how are you supposed to bring them to Christ?
Exactly.
Right? There's no way. Yeah. Like you cut them out completely. Imagine if you're the only person that God put in their life for you to bring them to Christ.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
Dude,
that's a mind explosion actually. Oh shit. Nah, yeah, because I was actually like thinking about this like the other day because me myself like I've had like an experience where like a friend that I used to have, like they're still partaking in the stuff that I wouldn't want to do, but I did exactly what you said, like to not do. I mean, still like I still like talk to him here and there, like if we're around the same group here and there, but it's more so like less of checking in, and like at times it just feels like you can't bring that person to Christ because of how bad like you feel because of something that y'all went through, but it's only because like you went through that with him, and of course you're gonna feel a certain way about it. So would you ever so say this. This is a tough question. So it's like, so where would you say is the best place like to start off with if you want to try to like bring that person like back into.
Man, I would say that's a great question. Man, I'll say the best way is just try to include them in everything that you do. That way they can see you be because at the end they were supposed to be a resemblance of Christ. Right. So the more that they're around you, the more they see how you act, the way you treat people.
Also like be the light.
Be the light
so they can see the light.
If you bring them around you bring them around the community that has the same lifestyle as you, eventually they'll be like, they're going to think. They're going to start asking questions. They're going to be, what is that? Why do you guys do this? And so like, you don't necessarily have to bring them to church with you if they don't want to. But if you and the guys that you're friends with are doing an activity, don't leave them out. Be like, yo, come, let's slide.
Thanks. Always invite them to like, a position for them to get closer to God, just like you did. And like similar to what Oka said, like one thing that I believe is you can't really you can't turn someone into a Christian.
You can't.
Yeah. You can't force someone to get saved. But like Oka said, like with step by step, you could at least introduce them to your change. Because one thing I realized is the most powerful way to bring somebody to Christ is through testimony. And a lot of people, like, that's already living, because let's be real, like, let's say you're not a Christian, right? And then someone that's already a Christian, that's like, that comes up to you. But mind you, you're living, like, your life, you're thriving. And they come up to you and they're like, yo, like, you should come to God. Everything will be great in your life. Everything will be this. And you're like, everything's already great in my life. So why should I go to Christ? You feel me? So I feel like it's a lot more powerful than just saying something like that. It's going deeper and, through your testimony. For example, no one knows what you would go through behind closed doors. You could be like, showing that you have the car, you have the house, but no one knows truly what you go through. You could be going through depression. You could have, brokenhearted or anything that you could be going through. No one would know. Right. So it's like when you come into Christ, like let's say I come, as another fellow brother that's like, living a great life, but I still got saved. I come to you, I'm like, yo, like I was behind closed doors. I was depressed. Behind closed doors, I was struggling with porn. Behind closed doors, I was like, mad at the world. It was just me and just like my sins. Yeah. But then I got introduced to somebody that loved me, even by knowing these things, because a lot of people, family will love you by what they see, because they don't truly know you. Exactly. But God still loves you through what he sees and what no one else sees, what no one else doesn't see. He still loves you.
And that's the best way. That's the best way to show a non-believer. And that's why our testimonies are so powerful
thing in the world.
And that's why it's one of the best ways to try to introduce somebody else to God, instead of just telling them, oh, you're going to hell if you do not believe in Jesus.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to say something about that.
Yeah, me too.
So like there's two parts. Just like in the church, they only speak about the good. Right. They don't speak about the bad enough. But when you're going out there to try to save someone, you don't just point at the rock and be like, you're going to hell because you do that. Right. Like that's not, you're not going to lead them anywhere. Right.
They're gonna you know what's funny? That used to be me, bro.
Yeah.
That used to be me when I first started my walk. When I first started my walk, like Like, because like I was boastful in my faith. Like I felt like, now that I'm a Christian, I'm better than everybody else.
Yep.
I started telling people, like, I started saying those phrases like that. I started telling people like, you're going to hell for this. You're a sinner. You're this. I was attacking.
I didn't.
Like,
I feel you.
like he was
I feel like, look, I have God in my life now. I'm going to heaven. All y'all going to hell. That was my mentality, bro. And then when
you don't want to come with me, that sucks.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
that
sorry
is-
for you, bro. Enjoy
That's
hell,
how
bro.
it
is.
That's
Your
the
dad.
mentality. That's the mentality that I had. But I feel like though, one big thing that in Western civilization, such as the U.S. and everything, I feel like they have a cupcakes and rainbows Jesus, and they don't have a all in all Jesus.
you gotta
because-
try to-
Oh yeah,
good
'cause-
and
yeah,
bad.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like people like
They section off the parts that they want.
they be like cutting off the parts that they don't want to hear.
Exactly. They're
like
selective.
yeah,
They be
they're very
selective.
selective. So,
Hearing.
Yes,
Selective
yeah.
hearing.
When it comes to God,
And they forget that Jesus is a God of wrath.
Yes,
You know
my
what I
boy.
mean?
Bro, man,
they
they
don't-
don't read the Old Testament. They don't
But
know about
when
wrath.
he
They don't
looks
know
at
about
you,
wrath,
when he
bro.
looks at you and said, "Depart from me, for I never knew you."
Yeah, like my boy, bro.
That's your biggest
Hell
fear.
hell is apart from Christ. You know
Literally
that?
separation,
It's
bro.
separation. That's what hell is.
So,
That's what the suffering is.
I just
Not
think-
being with him.
Literally, bro. So if God is light and hell is separation from God, what makes you think there's gonna be light in hell? If God is breath, what makes you think there's gonna be like be able to breathe?
Whoa.
If God is like
there's
life
water.
itself, if there's water. If God,
What do you think is gonna be
if
in hell?
God spoke all these things into existence and it came through Him and it's from Him, and hell is apart from Him, everything you're enjoying now, none of that's gonna be there. Complete
and
opposite.
then on top
bro.
of that, it's like like this is gonna get like a little sciencey because
Yeah.
you know how Earth is just right there.
Yeah.
no, but for real, we don't think about it enough. The universe or whatever is outside there. It's so like we are like a grain of sand.
Yeah,
in,
we're a
in the
speck,
grand
bro.
scheme of things.
Yep.
And the fact that like there's just human life, and the fact that we don't even have to be, because the odds of us even being born is just crazy.
Yeah.
And people like who suffer like depression and all that, like I kind of like feel for them in a way, because I'm just like, yes, I understand what you're going through, but it's like, like you're clearly here for a reason.
Yes.
And God's chose you to live this life,
Yeah,
because
bro.
life is not something that you live all the time, or there's a new trial like next year, you feel me, or whatever, but it's just it just makes you just so much more
like it's
appreciative.
no coincidence.
No,
Yeah.
everything
Yes.
happens.
Everything seems
Everything
it's a
is,
coincidence.
has a reason. Like everything, bro. Us here right now is a reason.
For sure.
This is gonna reach someone who needs to hear what we're talking about to bring them closer to Christ.
Sure.
It's reaching
And it
out.
may
It's
not
reaching
be
people.
facts, and it may not be everybody, and it doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be.
Doesn't need to be.
All it needs to be is for one
One
person.
person.
Just one
One
person.
person.
Exactly.
Like
That's the
we-
difference. That's it.
We think too much about trying to save everybody, but
Everybody.
instead
Yeah.
of focusing on one at a time. That's our
Exactly.
problem.
And
We
another
don't
thing
need to
too,
save everyone.
Go ahead first.
I was gonna say another thing too. Like the most you can do is plant the seed.
Yeah.
That's the most
This
you
is
can
a
do.
seed.
Like, and like let's get a little sciencey with it, right? Let's say I give you a seed, I tell you to go plant it, right? You plant the seed. I'm like, yo, David, tell the plant to grow. Like why like then you're like I can't tell it to grow. I can put it in the right conditions to grow, but I can't tell
Make
it
sure
to
it's
grow.
water.
Yeah.
It has enough
You
light.
keep watering it, make sure it got light. Like for example, that like let's say friends that outside of that, right? You could only plant the seed by saying, yo, like man, I found somebody named Jesus, and my life is like a lot better than what it was. I'm not saying that I'm rich now, but I'm saying that like morally and like psychologically, I'm a lot better. And then you start bringing them to church with you. You start talking about
them
God
to-
around them. That's watering. That's bringing the light, and slowly that seed is growing. It could take like some time to grow, but it's still gonna grow.
That's fire.
Yeah,
That's
and it's gonna
fire.
produce fruit one day.
Most definitely.
And even like, I want to say this, it's like sometimes it might take longer than you want it to take, but you just gotta wait, bro. You literally like if you're trying to bring someone closer to Christ, and it feels like to you like it's just too long, like you should just stop. Do not stop. If something is telling you to stop, you work on it harder. There's only one person who will tell you to stop bringing someone to Christ, the devil. So it's like if you stop, you let him win. So it's like it don't matter if it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years for someone to finally be saved.
Yeah.
They become saved.
Yeah.
So you should have
they're saved regardless.
They're
Yeah.
saved. So like the timeline within that shouldn't even matter. It shouldn't even
Facts.
matter. Because if God is patient with us, dude, we sin every day.
Right.
And we're still here. So if he's patient with us, why can't we be patient to bring someone to Christ?
Yes, one thing I want to say about that is like, bro, you're never, ever, ever too imperfect or too sinful for God to use
Never.
you, man. Like if you read like the word, almost 90% of the people that God used in the Bible
were sinners.
People that were like even worse than, you know, people are right now. For example, someone could be going through it. They're like, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, I've done so much bad in my life. You know, I don't think like Jesus would love me. Like, you have no idea how much Jesus would love you.
Bro,
It's like, fam, when you look at, man, the biggest example I like to use, obviously there's thousands more, but the biggest example I like to use is Apostle Paul, right? Yo, Apostle Paul, you know, one of the greatest apostles, like, you know, in the Bible, you know, wrote like so many chapters, so many books of the Bible. God used him, but guess what he used to be? He used to be a murderer, bro. He used to be like, you know, out here like chopping heads off for people who believed in God. And then it was God that encountered him that had his whole life
beheading people, bro.
I remember. I don't remember the whole story, but I remember that one part. No, that's
you're never ever too imperfect,
never too far.
And also, what I wanted to say, what you guys were saying earlier, right? So we'll ask at least. So yes, for you it was Stephen Ben that, like, you know, brought you along. Who do you feel like brought you along, like, to, like, you know, in order to get saved? Did you have anybody like a pastor or a friend or somebody who just kind of like brought you back on that path, or was that maybe even that pastor at Methodist that brought you closer? Like, do you feel like?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't.
We didn't.
I didn't have that person that would, like, you know, reach out to me and be like, yo, hey, you need to, you know, change your life about God. It was more of like a personal encounter that I had.
Yeah.
And it was like, real quick, like 30-second story. I explained this to you before. I was in my sleep.
Yeah.
And then, mind you, like, I'm like late middle school, like eighth grade. I think I told you this too.
Okay.
But while I was slumped, like, I know that, like, you know, as a kid with growing up in the church, my mom would tell me, like, you know, the name of Jesus is powerful, right? And so that's in the back of my head. So I'm asleep. I'm in this room, kind of like a room like this, like box and everything like that. And there's just something like in the corner of the room. I don't know what it was. It just had a figure of, you know, unholiness. You just knew it wasn't like the movies, like Devils with Horns. It's not what it was. Like, I could not like say what it was, but I just know that it was something that was not good. And if like the room started getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then mind you, it's getting bigger, but the room's getting smaller. So it's kind of like, you know, showing like that it has power over me. And then as it's getting like closer and bigger and I'm getting smaller, I feel like my life is literally like ripping out of me. Like, I felt like I was genuinely like about to die. And I was like questioning myself, like, in the dream. It wasn't a lucid dream because I couldn't see outside. I was in the situation, but I could feel myself tossing and turning in my bed trying to get out of it. Like, it felt like, yo, I'm about to die. And then like I try to speak, I try to say things, nothing would come out of my mouth. Like, I would be talking, but it was like nothing was coming out. And then lastly, in the back of my head, I'm like, yo, just cry out the name of Jesus, bro. Just say it. And I just yelled. I was just like, Jesus. And I woke up. And then when I woke up, and I was just like, I don't know what that was, but I told my mom the story the next day. My mom was like, you need to pray. You need to pray because you think that, like, you know, just because, you know, you're in 8th grade, you're young, things like that. You think that, you know, the enemy won't so try to get you this early. And I feel like, man, I didn't want to get into that, but I feel like a lot of people don't understand in America, bro.
You could get attacked at any age,
bro. Like,
attacking the youth.
It really starts at like probably 4, really, like pre-K or, you know, whatever. But that's really where it starts.
Like, they
develop a brain cell.
Yeah.
You need to start right there, bro. And I feel like at that point, I was like, life was almost ripped out of me. And I was like, you know what, bro? Because of that situation, it led me to, like, you know, like, I think I want to develop a little bit more about God. And obviously, like, I wasn't this perfect person, but then my person ended up being my older cousin. His name is Gary. Knowing he's gonna see this, but knowing like the type of guy that Gary was, you know, he was the average, like, you know, poppy guy in high school, like, you know, basically doing whatever he wanted. And in the back of my head, I'm like, because I already knew about God and things like that, but Gary didn't really, you feel me? Gary hated church. Gary hated church. He hated, you know, like he never really, like, you know, talked about the word. He just lived his own life. And then after he graduated and everything like that, you know, him and his close friends, you know, they started going to church. And then I saw a complete turnaround in his life. And I was like, whoa. Like, he's like the last person. Think of, like, in y'all heads, think of the last person you think that would get saved. That's who, like, I thought he was. And then he got saved. And then he started praying. Like, you would open this guy's room and he's on his knees, like, bawling his eyes out praying. And I'm like, I would never think that, you know, that would be him. And then little by little, he started, like, you know, bringing us closer to him, started talking, because at that time we lived in the same house. And he started, like, you know, having sessions with us. We have times where we just talk about, like, our struggles. And sometimes he'll talk about, like, you know, his testimony, things like that. And I feel like he was that person for me. And he's the one that helped me push, like, you know, get baptized, go to, like, get out of mental use. Like, I would have stayed if it wasn't for him. Like, he's the one that helped me get out. He's like, bro, like, that Haitian church right there that you're
wasn't good for you.
It's not doing nothing for you, bro.
It wasn't
Philadelphia.
Good for you.
If you listening out there, bro, get out of that church.
And it's not no bash to the church, but it's like, it doesn't help your faith.
It doesn't,
That
bro.
church will not help your faith.
It's not.
And so, like, if God is calling you to leave, bro, leave a church.
Yeah.
Do not
Leave a
stay there
church.
just because you have friends and family there.
Exactly.
You gotta
and then,
leave.
And
That was a big
on top of that, just see like the world like for yourself. Like you don't even have to just say I'm not gonna go to this church. Just go to other churches and you'll come to the realization yourself of how like and everything is.
Exactly, bro. And I feel like the problem that Mental G's had, man, we're just attacking them. But I feel like the problem that they had was that, like, in their heads, they think that, you know, if you leave the church, you leave God. And that's a lot of churches. When you leave the church, you don't leave God, bro. Like,
God
if
is
we're
with
all,
you,
like,
bro.
one church under God, then why is the church competing with another
Bro,
church?
A church is
bro?
not a church is not a building.
What people
It's not
no,
even a
we
building,
are
yeah.
the church.
We are the
Literally,
church.
like,
We
we
are
are
the
the
church.
church. Like, even if I go to another assembly, that doesn't mean that, like, you know, I picked up the whole church and destroyed it. Like, no.
Be like, I'm gonna take my church somewhere else.
Yeah, like, literally, like, no, it doesn't work like that, my guy. So,
I hear that.
Yeah,
Okay,
bro.
for sure. So it was Gary. I appreciate that story. Most definitely. And do you feel like there's somebody who kind of like brought you? Because I know you said that you're a new Christian. Do you feel like there was somebody that kind of guided you that way?
Oh yeah.
Was that Sonny, by the way?
No, you're talking to him.
Oh, so it was like a
No,
encounter,
it was. I want to see you and Sunny. Anybody who doesn't know, so Sunny, that's my girlfriend. But it was mainly her because it was just so crazy because she found me at a time in my life where I just was like just lost as a person. Like I didn't really know who I was. You know, like if you were to say, Greg, who are you? I'm just here. I'm living. No, but over time, like finding myself, like she kind of like just gave me that guidance that I've never had, because you know, like even like my family, like they're not really, you know, close. Like my parents are divorced. Everybody's like, you know, in different states, area, and all that stuff. So I never really had like that guidance. But she gave me that, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I could actually like do this like head on, you know, because I had her by my side. And on top of that. And then as soon as, you know, that started going on, you know, we had the podcast going, and then that started going more and all that stuff. And Dave is obviously like he's been a friend since, you know, quarantine, you know, days ibuprofen.
I see that. That's that.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But so after that, like it was kind of like David and my girlfriend kind of helped me in my faith, but they didn't even know that they were helping me. It was just kind of because they didn't really like at the time they weren't really like talking to each other. It was just like I had my relationship with one and the other, and then they just like both were just
I didn't think you were gonna say my name.
No. He's the one that brought me to my first Bible study where I met my one friend who actually like I went to church yesterday with him, Mike. Mike. But I met all these people that I never thought that I would meet, and I never thought that was fun, especially on a college campus with people who live this lifestyle through David. So like I'd say he's a big part of that. Honestly.
That's why it's very important to bring people with you.
Yeah.
Yes,
no
bro.
matter what.
And I see that now.
No matter
That's something
what.
definitely I was gonna say a little bit earlier before I get back to my point with asking you guys. I feel like I was definitely blinded when I started going to those decisions, because like sure, when you're saved, like okay, damn, like I need to surround myself with people like-minded or just like Christians, but also like you shouldn't forget about your day ones or like the people that are around you.
Yeah, you can't forget about
imagine like, but it might get dark real quick, but imagine, you know, end time, you go to heaven and your friend isn't, just because they didn't know Jesus, and guess whose fault it was? Yours. And it's just insane because it's basically like, how can I put this? Imagine like having a big opportunity and knowing that your friend could partake in that and you didn't tell him. It's kind of like that.
You're green.
And you're green for real,
bro.
You're green.
No,
You're
that's
selfish.
real.
Why would we
selfish.
keep Jesus to ourselves?
That's
You're
selfish,
robbing
bro.
somebody else from eternal life.
That's what I'm saying.
Overflowing
You
gift,
know,
bro. You gotta share.
That's why, like,
said that.
none
I'm
of
glad
the
you said that,
people,
because that's a lot of
bro,
Right,
for real,
right,
none of the
right.
people I like that know me can't say that I never talked to them about Christ or never try to bring them with me to church, wherever, or make them feel included.
Right.
Because like I don't want, like, I don't know, for me it was eat me up, like knowing that I'm pushing them away just because I'm starting to come to Christ and I'm forgetting about them. Like they can spend their life in hell,
However they want.
and you know, like do whatever they want, and then you know when God comes, boom.
Yeah, like
That's
if
tough for you.
I just want to say, like, if you thinking like that, bro, the love of God is not in you, bro. Love of God is not in you, because Jesus came, you know, when Jesus came down, you know, to earth and everything like that. He didn't go to the ones that were saved already.
Bruh.
He went to go preach to those that weren't, bro.
Bro,
If
he
just
came to
for
save
his
the ones who
he
were
would never
sinning.
been from God. Exactly.
Most deaf.
He came for the sinners. It says it in the word. He didn't come for the ones who were already saved and
Yep.
righteous.
And
He came for the sinners, the one who were already living a life away from Jesus.
Exactly, bro.
So it's like,
And the
why are
word-
you gonna like do the exact opposite of what Christ was doing?
Exactly. And the word says it's not the healthy that needs a doctor, bro. It's the sick. It's the sick that needs one. So a lot of people out there, bro, like
You got to
people that
think
you
about
talked
it like a disease, bro.
That's what sin is,
that's
bro.
it.
Oh my
It's
God.
a
It's
disease.
Sin, man.
That's the biggest disease.
It's
you
like
can
no, that's the
have,
biggest
bro.
disease you can have.
Yeah, and it's a
No,
disease that
really,
we
man.
all
That
have.
we
That's
all
the
have.
crazy thing about it.
Yeah, it's like and
Slave to sin.
one thing I want to say, bro. Just because you get saved doesn't mean you will no longer sin.
Oh no.
Amen to
You
that.
will
It's even
not
harder.
like, bro. What
It gets even harder.
The enemy
What?
attacks
Harder,
you
yeah.
harder.
It
The
just
more-
means that like you're no longer the sin doesn't define you
Yeah,
anymore.
you have a choice. Like
Exactly.
you always have a choice, but before you come to Christ, you don't really have a choice because you don't have some like the Holy Spirit doesn't really account to you until you accept Christ into your life. That's when he really helps you. So it's like when you're away from Christ, you don't have no one to turn to. And like
No, it's just you.
like you pray, you could pray, and like of course he will always lend a helping hand, but like it won't be the same as if you truly accept him, allow him to work in your life.
Right.
Because the situations will be completely different. The situations we now encounter now as Christians, bro, all of them we are more than capable of conquering them because we know we have Christ.
Yeah.
When you're not saved, you don't know you have Christ.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're on your own.
You're on your
Everything you
own.
do by yourself. You're dealing with it on your own. But
Facts.
You
Most
gotta
definitely.
know
But
that.
you're never by yourself, though.
ever,
Never by
Never.
yourself. Oh,
There
that
it
a bon
is.
conversation. Hold up. Oh shit.
And to tie in,
yeah,
so
go
basically
close
it's
it
kind of
out,
like
close it out.
to kind of like basically tie in like why I was asking you guys the person. Like for me, I would definitely say it was multiple people along the way, but right now, especially like the Bible study that I brought him to, I went back like so speaking on that Bible study, I knew the person that brought me to that Bible study who leads it. His name is JB, and that he never stopped trying with me. You know what I mean? I knew him ever since I moved to Tampa, and I've been in Tampa. I'm on my 3rd year, and he kept texting me. You know what I mean? Sometimes it would be annoying,
3 years.
but yeah, bro, but he would like. And then sometimes
Somebody film. That's a long time.
you know what I mean? But the thing is, he never gave up on me though. And then one day I was like, "Yo, I'm off. Let's go. I'm gonna go." I just go, and then it was from like 8:30 to midnight, and like I was locked in, and it was just like I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about how I fell off my path, and I felt like him being there and just inviting me, not forcing nothing on me. He just sent the invite. You know what I mean? It's like because one day he's knew that I was gonna see, and that's what it can take for other people as well.
Yes.
You know,
Patience,
so
bro.
like that just kind of like moves me to just like it kind of opens my eyes. You know what I mean? As I said, I was blinded. You know what I mean? That just showing the presence of Jesus in you. You know what I mean? Words are never going to amount to the presence of Jesus. You know what I mean? I want to be able to walk by somebody and be like, I don't know what just happened. I want them to feel something and not know what it is, but get interested. And that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna keep saying it, bro. That's like, bro, it's sick. Why people are telling people that they're going to hell? Why?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sick. You know what I mean?
Condemning people,
that's
bro.
not how you
Facts.
lead.
Judging
And
like
it
you're
just
not
and
God.
it just like contradicts everything that you stand for too.
Heavy
It's
on
just
that.
like you can't say I'm this person, but the way that I'm gonna tell you I'm this person is by doing the complete opposite
Yeah.
of being that person.
And like,
feel me? So-
what I don't think people understand this, but when you're saying that you're going to hell,
Right.
you're acting like you're in the power to send them to hell.
Yeah.
When you're saying that,
Yeah.
Like
you have no right.
Exactly.
No
You're
right.
not the judge.
Yeah, bro.
And
So it's
now-
like, why are those words like? There's just a proper way to say it.
Exactly.
Like, you shouldn't just be like, you're going to hell because of this.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how you're gonna lead someone to Christ.
Like think about it is if the roles were reversed, especially not knowing who Jesus is, and then some random person telling you that you're gonna go somewhere that is not good.
yeah.
Who are you to
I'm
like,
who are
exactly, like-
who are you to
yeah,
tell
like,
me?
who are you,
You
bro?
know what I mean? So it's like now, and it's not. I'm not even like thinking about Jesus. It's like. You think you're better than me, bro? Like, what's up with you?
Yeah.
But
It's
why,
like-
like, you know, why I wanted to tie this all in, like,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna have gifts. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna have different gifts. Everyone's special in their own type of way, but
Yeah.
we all have one purpose. We
Yes.
all have one purpose, and that's to spread the gospel,
the word,
spread
bro.
the good word. You know what I mean? And that being said, unfortunately, it was a great conversation. We're out of time.
We're out of time, folks.
We're out of time. But I really do appreciate y'all for coming on the podcast. We're going to give it up. I'm glad that we have some people in the room, so we're all going to clap it up for Uncle Jeffy.
Zap in. Keep clapping. Let me get to the IG. Zap in. We good. We look good for social media.
All right, well, thank you for tuning back to the
Most Talked About Talk Show. Been talked about in talk show history. Thank you, Nin, for tuning into the
podcast. You can catch us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts soon. Hopefully, tap in.
Everybody to listen. Tell your auntie, tell your aunties, tell your uncles, tell your grannies, tell your mamas, tell your sisters, tell. Shit.
Hey. One thing I want to say before this closes off.
What's going on?
It's just a tap of a button to support.
That's it.
We are not incapable of supporting.
That's it.
We are not incapable of supporting. I saw that.
I thought you were, but yeah,
bro, it's like, bro, it takes 1 second out of your day to like and share, comment a video, bro. You never know who this video is gonna reach.
That's
so,
it. Right. That's it. Because that's something that any of us say. It can literally be even the opposite of something that we say or something can really touch somebody. So I appreciate y'all. If you just either like, comment, do whatever, subscribe, follow these guys. You know what I mean? These are great examples. Please. Okay,
great example.
Let's get it going. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Appreciate it, gang.